you or your son put a complaint in through the patient comment card. But what do you expect as a patient when you're complaining? What do you expect to happen? What?
I know you want to go on to something else, but I don't expect them to be devious because the doctor, the emergency room, nobody told me that I was under observation the 5 days I was in, or I would have blamed out of there because I could not afford the under $850 I had to pay.
So you felt that was almost devious. Did you feel that was devious?
I definitely did.
Did you? Did you complain about that?
I complained, but...
And then what happened when you
They
complained?
said, tough luck, here's your bill, pay it or we won't give you care.
And what were you hoping would happen instead of that tough luck?
They had said that if I filed certain papers, I would be reimbursed, and I was not.
Did you file? Yeah. Did you file the papers? Was there any help?
But I felt it was deceptive, devious, whatever word you want to use, not straightforward.
That's really good to hear that you felt that it was devious because of the way things were communicated to you. From what I'm hearing you say right now, the transparency and the communication, and when you called to complain, just being told, this is the way it is, this is our system, that it felt devious, and I totally hear that and can see how that would feel devious. And I think that's why we're really asking these questions, because we get complaints all day long, and sometimes we just need to step back and say, what would make it better? And that's really what we're trying to find out tonight. What would make it better?
Well, a reply would make it better. Like, I can give you an example where I gave in complaint cards in the Rochester Methodist cafeteria 3 times, and on the bottom of the card said, give your name and phone number to call back. They never did. Never. And the last complaint was a complaint that they never called back, and they still didn't call back. So, so it's kind of like, who are these people? And I know over the years I've made suggestions, everything from, sort of having more chairs like in the lobby so people don't, and giving numbers so people don't have to stand up at the Gonder admissions office, and no one ever called back. Nobody ever answers you. They always claim they're too busy. The other thing is sometimes, like, even frankly in your office, and you may have fixed it, but like, have someone answer the phone.
Sure.
Don't ever have a situation where you get a voice cue which says there's no one here, leave a message and we'll call you. After you go through 4 cues and 4 different sub-menus, and then we will call you back.
Yeah.
That's not the patient experience. It should be a good experience.
The good news is, we did change that this past month, so there aren't any buttons that you push. When you call our number, we answer, and then we have more staff on our call lines. So, and people have an option to leave a message. We used to have it where after 2 minutes, you would automatically be put into a audix option, and now with more staffing, people don't have to go into the audix option, but they have a choice. So at 4 minutes, the message says, would you like to continue to hold, or would you like to leave a message and someone will call you back? But I think to your point about our comment cards, that's one of the things that we wanted your opinion about. Is we get about 35 phone calls a day. That's straightforward. We're talking to the patient and we're resolving their complaint, and then we're going to follow up with them in 7 days. We also have our walk-in patients into the main office, and we have a dialogue with them. If we can solve it right away, we do. If we need a little bit of time, then we'll get back with them. But our question today that we want your opinion on is, when patients send us letters, would you expect a phone call back? Or if you sent a letter or a comment card or a complaint card, would you feel comfortable with a letter coming back to you in 7 to 10 days to say, we received your letter and your comment card, and if it's a complaint, we've shared that with our leadership team, and we hope to find process improvement options? So that's kind of what our question is today. As a patient, what do you most prefer? If you sent us a letter or a comment card.
Well, if it's a comment card, on the card itself, you could have a box saying, I would like a response, and if they don't check that, then you don't need to.
Right.
So that's
That's an easy fix.
That's an
We can
easy thing
edit
to
our
add
comment
on.
cards.
Yeah.
I think a telephone response would be better because you're sending a letter, okay, the patient sends a letter, then you send a letter back. You're not dialoguing about where the problem is.
Sure. And from a time frame, what would you think would be reasonable? So I've sent a letter, figure it takes a couple days to get there. When would you most expect to get a phone call back to say, I've gotten your letter, want to talk about it, and then here's what our process is going to
I
be?
would think within 10 days.
Within 10 days, a phone call back. Yes.
The next day,
What?
the next.
That you'd like a 24-hour phone call back. Others?
Even just to send, if people are into emails, that's the new corresponding type of thing, to have that, and then, then to have after it's been sent to them, to say, okay, do you have any other thoughts on this, have an email address to send a response back.
That's what I was thinking, like with the comment card, you could do, please contact me via email, letter, phone call, and
Like
they
the
could put in,
choices.
yeah, which one they
Text.
prefer. Right, because she
Video
prefers a
chat,
phone call,
IM.
and I work all day, I don't really want a phone call, I'd rather
Right.
email.
Yeah, or text.
Yeah.
Yes, back in the corner.
I think I prefer the letter.
Okay,
I feel like phone calls are kind of intrusive into my day. And I
sure.
prefer
That's an
to
interesting
have a letter
perspective.
with a phone number to get back to.
And so with this letter, would your expectation be that we would send you a letter within 24 hours to say, we've acknowledged, we've received your letter, we're going to be investigating this complaint, and we will follow up with the letter in 7 to 10 days? Would that be important for you to get that type of an acknowledgement?
I don't think so.
Okay,
I think that if you were going to do something like that, something by email would probably be better. Since there's no patient information on it.
Good
But,
point.
that extra letter, that extra piece of paper, I don't think is necessary.
okay, good. Others?
Are you accessible on the patient portal?
We're not. I don't think it is out there.
It's not even externally on the website. We've been looking, so we know we need to do that.
And it's not that we don't want to be available. I think it's really a matter of resources. We have a really small team of, 10 people, and so I think, at least for me personally, I think if we were to try to put ourselves out there on mayoclinic.org, I
We'd
think
be bombarded.
we would be
Probably
overwhelmed.
would be.
Mhm.
But and it's not like it's horrible, because in the percentage of total patients that we see at Mayo Clinic, the majority are very happy, but we are dedicated to taking patient complaints so we can make it better for other patients. So I just don't want you to think that we get a lot of complaints, because it's all relative and in perspective to how many patients we're seeing on a daily basis.
So what is your department called?
We're called the Office of Patient Experience. It's, yes, in the back.
We just had the portal discussion. Is there a way that you could get onto the portal and have a communication that way?
If you go onto the portal and write a complaint of sorts, it would come to us. If it was a complaint about a bill, it would get triaged from that site to patient account services. But if it was a patient complaint about your care, those get routed to us. It's not automatic. Someone has to do it.
It's not set up with that intention right now.
Right.
We don't want to promote the use
Right.
of it.
Right.
And so we need something that's
Exactly.
specifically for that.
But we definitely could bring Dan in and have a conversation about what we need to do to
Yes.
create something like
I'd
that.
be worried if you, put your link on the normal website, that you would get all kinds,
yeah.
Yes,
people email for IT issues,
that's what's gonna
we would
happen.
be so bombarded with,
Right.
I don't know if that would be worth it for me to be able to find you on there, as opposed to calling you or.
You know, I think we're fairly visible to the employee population, who then will share with patients
How to get to
our
us.
contact information.
I know when I first came here, and like many years ago, I was told that the Office of Patient Affairs, as it was known then, handled everything except the billing office. So no matter how serious a problem you have with the billing office, even if it's an interpersonal problem with the billing office, your office wouldn't get involved. Is that still the case, or is it? has that
If your billing issue is related to, I don't think this bill's correct, I think they charged me for somebody else's services, that goes directly to their department. If your complaint about your bill is, the physician I saw did not provide the care I was expecting, and he ordered tests that I told him I didn't want, then that would come to our office, because that is a patient complaint kind of concern, and then we can work directly with our patient account services if we need to discuss the bill in some way.
Because we don't get every complaint either. So a lot of complaints and service failures are resolved right where it happens at the front desk. So our office really doesn't, we're not the catch-all for everything.
So if you got more mechanical complaints, I'll give you this one example. The quiet room used to have light blankets that you could cover yourself with. They also had a nice clock in there because maybe you'd be between appointments. A year ago, you come in there, no more blankets, the clock has been removed, and I did call, I don't know whom I got, but they said the board voted to remove the blankets. And I just thought, that's just outrageous. I mean, you have patients, I mean, you really are cold without the blanket. And I thought, the Mayo Clinic can really afford to have the blankets there. And why did they take the clock out?
Yeah, I don't know about
That's a
the
good
blankets.
question.
I would suspect the blankets is a safety.
It's a sanitary issue. So I remember we talked
The
to.
clock is the same?
No, the blankets.
Oh, but they had it all set up. They had
Yeah.
a basket where after you used the blanket, you threw it in there. They took it away and washed it. You had clean ones on a very separate shelf. I think there's much more of an issue of safety or infection without it. Now, maybe I did something most people didn't do, but I put a blanket on the chair because who knows who had been lying on it before. And then a blanket
On top
over
of you.
me because I was cold. And then there's the basket, the dirty basket. Here's the shelf with the clean baskets. Tell me how that was causing infection.
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know.
No,
But
but-
this could be a very interesting topic too that we bring back. We could
Yeah.
see if we
I
can
mean, I
invite
guess
them
I
to this
would
meeting.
Come before the board that voted against the blanket. The clock wasn't a question of infection, was it?
I don't think
On the
so.
wall.
Right.
Why take it off?
Yeah, we'll have to look into that
Yeah.
a little bit. I think that's so good you shared that.
Yeah, did you have a question back?
Yeah, you mentioned the acknowledgement letter back, and I'm wondering, would you be able to send like an email on the portal instead of the letter?
You know, that's a good question. I think we'd have to check that out. I don't know that we have access to go to a portal and send the emails, do we?
No, but if we were set up in the portal, we would get notified if someone tried to email us or contact us through the portal, and then we'd be able to respond to that email. It probably would go up into that portal. We'd have to talk with Dan about that, but we really should look at, I don't know why we don't do email, but I'm hearing a lot of that. I know for me, I'm just like some of you who shared phone calls sometimes seem intrusive. My husband and I, when we go home, phones are off, and unless it's like my son calling, I'm not answering it. So I'm the same way. I'd much rather get an email, and then I manage it myself than a phone call.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good idea. Any other thoughts about how you like communication?
Yeah, or even when you make a complaint, what do you expect to happen? What do you expect that engagement to feel like? To acknowledge you, to feel respectful. what are just some things that you'd expect? Yep.
I would like to see a continuity and just being able to talk with the same person, even though it's a different issue. I don't like going and talking to one person and then the next time I'm talking to a different person. I like to establish a trust relationship with one person and then have them handle whatever I bring in.
That, it's a really interesting request, and currently we're organized by service lines. So because the way physicians practice might vary from department to department, our coordinators are assigned dedicated service lines, so that as they are providing feedback or there are process improvements, they've kind of built a relationship with the provider. But as you mentioned, having a relationship with the patient. I don't know for certain the percentage of patients who are repeat callers. I think a majority, it's not like the same person calls many times. But that's certainly an interesting idea to look at how do we organize our work by patient. Did you have a question in the back?
Yeah, a few years ago, I had a doctor sent me, and I didn't like the way he treated the intern that was in there.
Can you talk a little louder, just so I catch it?
I didn't like the way he treated the intern, and I wanted to complain to somebody, and I really didn't know how, and nor do I remember his name now. But after all these years, that still bothers me.
Yeah. That's comforting.
Not a very good thing to do in front of the patient.
Sure.
Yeah.
So who should she have contacted? And how late is too late? I'm serious. Plus he dictated my record to the telephone line, to his secretary. And I'm a transcriptionist, and I thought it was way too fast.
Oh.
It's my record. Then he said something that I said, no, that isn't, I corrected him, and he got mad and said, why didn't you say something? And I said, you never asked me about that. But not so much with me, but it's just the way he treated the intern. He was so bad.
I don't know that there's a limit, so if someone called us and said, I want to complain about something that happened in 2002, I think we would take it. I don't know if the provider is still there or the resident is still there, but I think...
And they might have difficulties responding because they may not remember. They'll just have to go on the notes of that encounter. But, if it's haunting you, and you should let us know. Call our office.
It's important to get closure, I think. And I think we would see that with our callers. Sometimes once they've written a letter or once they've called, it just, that they
It's
just
off
feel a
them.
little bit better. And whether we can fix it for them to their satisfaction, we do our best. But it is important to share your story and be validated and heard.
And we do often use the stories we hear as case studies. So when we're going out to the organization and we're offering training in departments, if we have a good story example of poor communication, these are our values. This is what we teach new employees, and illustrating that this value was not exhibited at this moment with a real life case story, we'll use that. So don't ever think when you're calling our office it's just going in a box and being hidden. We use, this is gold to us. This is what we teach from, your stories of service recoveries and what went well and what was stellar. We also share those as well. But we learn from those sad examples where there was a failure. So, and if you'd feel better, just, my email. Just email me and we can talk and I can take it in.
That's good. You have a couple minutes.
Yep.
I think just more along the line of what our expectations are. I guess when I make a complaint, it's more so the next person doesn't have that same issue. Like I had an issue in labor and delivery when my daughter was born in November with communication and doctor and midwife. And it was a big fiasco. But I wanted somebody more to know so that the next time that it was
It wouldn't
a
happen.
patient with that midwife and that doctor, maybe something else would happen, or the midwife would know better or the doctor would know better. Somebody would have discussed with them at that point that, hey, this is what happened and somebody was concerned about your communication. Can you try for the next patient? The next time, I probably won't choose that midwife or doctor or that combination because of the experience I had. But I would hate for another first-time mother to go in there and have the exact same experience
Mhm.
You know, that just brings up.
because I didn't say anything or
Yeah.
because nothing happened
Tell-
after I said anything.
If you could answer one question, if we were to work that case up, so to speak,
Yeah.
would you have wanted the midwife or the doctor to call you personally and say, hey, you know, I got this and I just wanted to apologize? Or are you comfortable with us saying, we provided the feedback to the provider and they were appreciative of it and then done?
I don't think it's really necessary
Okay,
for the
good.
provider to, I feel like that's kind of a waste of time on
Yeah.
their end. Like,
Okay.
they
As long
have
as they
other
get the
stuff to do.
feedback, that's all
I would
you
rather
care.
they were taking care of other patients
Right.
than worrying about calling
Good.
somebody back
Okay.
about a
Mhm.
complaint, especially when we know you guys are a department and you guys can handle it.
I just wanted to ask, I know on the agenda it says you can talk about future topics to bring to the
Sure,
this
yeah.
group. And I know, and I mentioned this before about billing and stuff like that.
Yep.
I know Mayo has this consultant that's supposedly working on it, but it'd be nice to have some feedback, to get input to them about what they're doing and sort of.
Mhm. So inviting billing, like higher level.
I would love to see that. And even some facilities issues, like there's a big controversy with music. Why didn't that come here? You know, some of these issues I just don't understand. It seems like we get certain things, but then there are certain things we just don't seem to get at all, like facility, even food services. They're undergoing a major contract for food services. I don't know that that's been selected. We've never been asked for input on food services.
No, this is good. I'll invite some of those people, but to your music point, just be assured music isn't stopping at Mayo.
No,
Yeah.
I know, but I'm just saying the whole issue
Yeah.
could have been handled a little differently if they would have just talked about it a little bit better, because it could have been handled a lot better. Instead, they got all this negative press, and it was all unnecessary, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I heard everything, but you got the feeling about the music issue, that it was handed from on high by a dictator, and there was no discussion
With patients.
the many of us, and, you know, maybe we don't have all the facts, but we really enjoyed the music, the camaraderie. If we had had a hard appointment, here we are, music, relax, feel good.
And just so you know, there's still going to be concerts put on by Humanities and Medicine. There's still going to be music. The real effort, what am I trying to say here? The effort was around the Gonda atrium and the gathering that started coming to be with the Gonda singers. Those are and it was the volume of that, because there were many patients that come to us. They're having chemo, they're having brain surgery, they have all kinds of health issues, and that the height of that volume was very hard on these patients. And so the sickest patients are really the voice we have to listen to. So basically they asked this group to just stop performing during these times in the Gonda atrium. And unfortunately it looks much more dramatic in the PB. There are still concerts that are going to be going on in the Lips Auditorium. There still will be piano playing in the Gonda building with efforts that are put on by Humanities and Medicine. And there's going to be concerts in other places. So it really was just one group of singers that just,
Yeah, I wasn't questioning so much the
Yeah.
decision, I was questioning the process.
yes. And
There are things like that with billing, and as I said, food service,
Yeah.
all these other issues, these institutional ones, like,
Yeah.
and they said the other issue, like why you can't have chairs in the Gondar lobby and stuff like that, where the people don't have to stand on one. I don't understand why they don't ever come to us and ask for opinions.
yeah, it would be great if we can get to a place someday where we can ask about every decision, but there's a lot of decisions that are made that we don't even know about until we read about them in the papers. So this was one of them. I think it caught all of us, the singing in our office. We basically were told, and as we should be, and we need to be informed so when patients call us that we know this is going on, but we didn't know either. And somebody has to make a call sometimes to protect our most vulnerable patients.
Can I add one thing?
Sure.
And this is your comment, I just wanted to just share the process in our office, and you may already know this. When a concern does come to us, especially, like an interaction, we call them interaction concerns, or any type of care concerns, was the quality of care appropriate? When those come to us, those are a more heightened level of review for our team. And when we make communication with the provider or others involved, we also include their leadership in that communication. So it's elevated, and then they are aware, so if there's trends, a certain provider, for example, they would start seeing that. And then we also share with them quarterly reports, so they can also see this is that. So that helps. So we definitely are the office to share concerns about communications and how they are uncomfortable, disturbing in any way. That's what we play.
And I think we're kind of at the end of our time. I'm recording this, so I don't really know what time it is. So
7:30.
Is it 7:30? Oh my gosh, we've gone over. So I'm going to take what you said, Barry, and see if we can bring in some people from facilities or billing to talk at the May meeting. And I don't know when Dan wants to come back again.
And Fran, there
Mhm.
is now, and this is fairly new, but within billing, or they call it revenue cycle,
Mhm.
they now have someone who has, and I think she's director level, overseeing billing patient experience.
Is that right? Okay, we'll have to find her, because I think that, to me, we needed to find the right person, because we don't want to go too big. And we brought Tom in, and he's doing the web, but we need someone at a bigger level. So this new person will help. And